Hollywood's first openly gay actor.
Now hear that. First, he was the first. I mean, we're talking before Neil Patrick Harris and many others. He was the first.
And honey, there's many others. And he was the author of the notorious 70s book, The Happy Hustler.
Yes.
Which then was the male counterpart to the popular The Happy Hooker by Xavier Hollander.
The book, The Happy Hustler, was a nude fold-out of the author, Grant Tracy Saxon.
Steamy.
Yes.
Steamy.
But Grant Tracy Saxon didn't really write the book. It was Michael Kearns who kind of, whatever, it's very confusing. Yeah. His new tome is The Truth is Bad Enough. What became of the Happy Hustler?
What happened to the Happy Hustler?
There he is! Oh my! Talk about steamy!
Oh my God! Oh darling!
Yeah. Hair. I need hair, water, makeup.
What?
And
light,
here is some water for you.
Oh my God! I'm in bed with Dan and Kelly.
Yes.
Michael Kearns! Oh my God!
And let me tell you, I mean, this is such a treat for me after, you know, several years, many years ago, getting to Happy Hustler
4 or
and
5.
having wet dreams about this man.
Oh my God!
I have him in his bed. Yes.
Well, okay, well, how's that for an intro? Hello.
That's one of the best I've had in ages.
Okay, for the people out there that may not be familiar with the Happy Hustler, this is the beginning of your acting career, and it was someone that came to you with this idea portraying Grant Tracy Saxon, who was an escort or a
he was
male.
a hooker.
He was a male, but like men and women.
Yeah,
so you made
he was
you took on this character.
But also let me interject here too. Now we're talking again. This guy is so many firsts in his life. He came out first as being a gay actor. Then he came out first with being HIV positive, and he was way before James Frey from that book A Little Million Pieces duped Oprah.
Right. That's
right.
This whole Happy Hustler was a hoax. Can you give us some background on that?
Okay, so what happened was I was living with someone who wrote, in response to The Happy Hooker, he wrote a book called The Happy Hustler in a weekend. In a weekend, he wrote this book. And he sold it to Warner Books, which was a part of Warner's, you know, and Warner paperback. And they said, after reading it, well, we have to have a face to go with this. So, you know, well, what are we going to do? And he didn't want to use his face, and he said, oh, well, you know, Michael's an actor. He has zillions of photos around here lying around everywhere in every corner of the house, so we could use one of those. So I thought, oh, this is great. You know, I'll make $250 selling my photo. So and first it was going to be a photo on the back cover only. The front was just going to have the Happy Hustler, blah, 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 blah. So this happens, and they say, well, maybe we should do some more photos of him. So they decide, well, we'll do a fold-out. Then someone calls. It gets in Publishers Weekly, I think it was, as the first time there was a male centerfold in a paperback book. Another first.
Time. Oh.
We're talking way before Playgirl and Cosmopolitan, all that stuff.
Yeah. And so then someone comes up with the bright idea, well, he's an actor. Can't he do it? Somebody wants him on a talk show. This was a Pat Collins show, not the hypnotist. Pat Collins had a New York show. Do you remember her?
I think so.
She had a daily chat show. She was very blonde and pert and cute. Not as cute as you.
Oh.
But so they said, can he go on this show? And I was like, I was doing a play in Washington, D.C., in fact. And I said, well, you know, I was like dying to be in front of a camera. You'd think I would do this if I... You know the things I could be doing, and here I am hiding under leopard skin blankets,
and have done
in front of a camera.
Read the book.
Oh my God, this book is amazing.
Juicy.
juicy.
Okay.
So anyway, so they say, okay, so why doesn't he go on this talk show? So I went on this talk show, and at that point, I did not really know the book inside and out. It was pretty sudden. It was like the next day or something. He'll go, and I said we had to write a scenario that was believable. So we said, well, Michael Kearns, this actor, wrote this book about his experiences, but he's shifted a little so that we could create this merging of Michael Kearns and Grant Tracy Saxon. So it made some sense to people. So I went on this talk show, and it was a big hit. And the publishers went berserk, and they said, well, he can do a tour. This was the day of the year of book tours when they would send you all over the country.
Sure.
They said, so we're going to get him on Phil Donahue. I don't know. These names now people won't even know.
No.
We're going to get him on Phil Donahue and
Tom Schneider.
and all the AM shows. Every city had an AM show. AM Chicago, AM Washington, D.C., AM Atlanta, AM. So I was on all these shows. And in the meantime, I'm kind of, because I was such an actor and so sort of like a methody actor, that I started becoming the happy hustler and kind of had some kind of psychosis, I guess, where I actually believed I kind of was this guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it didn't get, it got unpretty after a while. It was pretty
this whole thing took off.
Audiences were going crazy. Women were going crazy.
In
asking
airports,
the gay boys were going crazy.
The gay boys were going nuts.
Yeah, there's one part in the book where you someone asked, well, how do you get paid? And you said, by the inch.
That was on a talk show. They couldn't believe how, I was
You were
very
so
quick.
on.
Yeah, I was very quick. Quicker than I am now. But I still get paid by the inch.
And for 2 years,
It's just not as many inches. It's a lot cheaper.
I'll give you a discount. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But this went on for 2 years.
2 years. And then there was a subsequent book, actually, which didn't really do very well, because at that time, the relationship, did we mention that I was lovers with the person who wrote the book?
No.
By that time, the relationship was in shatters. My life was in shatters.
Well, you actually... The actor became the hustler. The actor became the fictional character in The Happy Hustler, where you started hustling,
turning tricks,
and then drinking and drugging too. Or
everything, all of it.
So you became the character.
Yeah, and then as I said then, I don't know if I said it in the book, but I said it many times, that I went from being the person who was on everybody's party list to being the person you did not invite to your party.
Okay.
So I went from Mr. Glamourpuss to has-been in probably about 18 months. It was a quick ascent and a quick descent.
Right.
And how did you deal with the descent?
Well, not well. Those free press tricks were not... They weren't Washington, D.C. senators, I'll tell you.
And a lot has happened to this man. That's why you have to read this book. There's so much. He came out, as I said, HIV positive. He's done a lot for the AIDS community. He developed STAGE, which is still going on today, which is an AIDS benefit. Is it for APLA? Is that
it's been for many different,
but now
charities. It's concentrated on APLA
and now
for several years.
In the 30th year or something. For 10 or 12 years, you did artist
confronting AIDS.
That's right.
Artists confronting AIDS. This man has really been an activist, a human rights activist, and about less than 20 years ago, he adopted a 5-month-old baby, which is the love of his life, and her name is Catherine, Tia Catherine.
Right. I think that guy, the happy hustler, I don't regret a minute of it. When I hear stories that you got that book, I've heard those stories. I get emails to this day, people now who've gotten the book and read it, and they love the idea that it was a hoax, and they're accepting of that, and they know what I've done since. So it was I was part of that sort of zeitgeist of whatever was happening to gay men in that early 70s. You know, I was just an exemplification of what a lot of gay men were doing, which was partying, acting silly and glamorous, and being out after having so many years of being suppressed and oppressed and all that. So that, you know, I was a living example of that, and I did it a little harder and a little wilder.
I mean, this is kind of a cliche, but you were acting out.
I was acting out.
Right?
Yeah, that was always
sure.
one of the titles of many that were considered was acting out. No, for my book, seriously.
And you know, I'm so sorry I never kept that. I don't know what happened after all my moves and through the years.
It got
I somehow
just
misplaced.
wet and moist.
I think you're right.
No, you sold it at a garage sale.
Oh yeah, for $4 and a glass of Kool-Aid.
Yeah. And before I forget, I mean, this man has done so many wonderful acting gigs through the years. And what stands out in my mind right now is when he was on The Waltons. Now, some of you young people won't remember The Waltons.
The Waltons?
But I'm telling you, go on YouTube and type in Michael Kearns and The Waltons. And it's a beautiful scene. Yeah. It's a beautiful scene between you and John Boyd Walton, Richard Thomas. It's wonderful.
And Richard Thomas was so generous, you know, that day, because he knew it was my first big moment, and he made sure that my close-ups were done twice. He was an angel to me.
You know, this is not juicy enough. We're, you know, on today's show, we're going to get a little more juice, okay? Because he doesn't mention everything, all right? So right here we have...
Oh, my God.
It says on page 99, after the
Please
taping,
open your books.
Mommy returned to her lackluster life in St. Louis, and I hung out in Chicago where I met a pop star on the brink of making it big. This gawky singer-pianist approached my table at Punciello's, a late-night theater hangout. Who was it?
Well, let's make it a little harder than that. Can we sing Mandy together? You came and you saw and you conquered. Well, that's what he did.
Okay,
He came and he saw and he conquered.
Oh
and
my God,
I was Mandy.
I'm blushing. I can't believe it.
You didn't know that's who it was?
No,
People think it's Peter Allen. They think it's Elton John. Yeah.
I did it.
Well, David Cassidy popped in my mind.
No,
he's not
but at this
gay,
moment, it just kind of hit me before you said it. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
And
we're not finished yet.
No, we got to talk about.
We're not finished. Hold on a minute.
Okay, go ahead. Dan's got it in order.
I got it right here now.
Okay.
Oh my word.
I would later have a private assignation with the notoriously well-hung hunk who was one of the first stars to take it all off for Playgirl. Who was it?
Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes! Yes!
Oh my God.
But you know, I think I know who this is.
Okay.
George Maharis?
You got it right. A lot of people think it's Bert, because Bert was right around that time frame.
But he was a new layout in Cosmopolitan.
That's right. This was Playgirl. Right over. It was circa, you know, whatever that time frame.
Now we have one more. Hold on.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I hope I can remember.
I had two memorable summertime sexual encounters. One with a closeted Hollywood actor twice my age and movie star handsome who gave me new meaning to being an apprentice. Who was it?
Oh, I don't know if I want to tell this one.
Give us the initials.
He's... oh my God!
I can't believe Michael Kearns is not saying anything. I can't believe.
But you know, you have to give me some points for integrity.
That's true.
That's true.
Because this person is alive.
Okay,
and
we'll give you a
I really
point of integrity.
love this person.
Then we'll leave it at
and
that.
And I blinded it on purpose. I'll tell you the minute the camera goes off.
Okay.
Yes!
Now, okay, then we can move very smoothly into Rock Hudson.
Move smoothly into Rock Hudson. No. That would be a no.
If I remember correctly.
You may have moved smoothly into Rock Hudson, but I didn't.
Oh my God. Okay.
From the book, you were standing up with Rock. Was that
Oh my God!
Rock.
Stand-up comedy.
In the in the bathhouses.
Yeah, and they tried to sue me once already, so if they come after you...
It doesn't matter
It doesn't matter.
Too late.
It was this sort of show-busy bath. It wasn't a gay bathhouse. It was called Brooks Baths. It's still there. It's across from
Where?
CBS on
right here.
Beverly.
Okay.
It's like a Russian, big Russian.
Kind of has that feel.
I know, yes.
And the guy who did the massage, he was great. His name was Bobby, and it was no messing around. It was a real massage. He would always say to me, "Oh, Rock was just here." I was like, oh, "So Rock was just here? Oh, you just missed Rock? Oh, Rock." And I'm like, "Oh, so one day I'll see Rock." So one day I go in and I open the steam room door, and there's Rock with just a towel on.
And
but
beautiful.
then, well,
Beautiful.
old. Older, but this is the towel. Okay, we're gonna have play act.
Okay, we're gonna play act the towel. We got it. Okay.
Oh wait, I have this glass. I can use it. So here's the
So the glass.
the camera is me, and I'm watching.
And you, the camera. Okay, you're
yeah,
walking
and I'm
in,
watching. No,
and
I
you're
sat by this time, and I'm watching, and I'm going, oh my God, it is a movie star. So
it was Rock Hudson.
it was. So I thought,
what a nice compliment.
well, yeah, it was.
No, it
So
was.
I thought to myself, God, I'll write about this someday. I'll get some lunches out of this.
I'm gonna be on Dan and Kelly with this one.
70 years from now.
Oh my God! So there he was.
So there he was, in the flesh, as it were.
Wow.
So
Were you nervous?
Intimidated?
Yeah.
Not intimidated, and I don't think particularly nervous, excited at first. First. I remember very explicitly, it was the Monday after Easter, because he said to me, "How was your Easter?" And I said, "It was fine." And he said something like, "Oh, well, I ate too much." Now, he was a little heavy, but he was still handsome as hell, and he was very tall. I mean, most movie stars are not that tall. He was taller than I was, so he's very, very tall.
Wow.
So he then, after this, he then,
After he had a glass of water.
do you believe I did that?
Yes.
I'm shocking myself. So then he took a little excursion, and it was clear I was supposed to follow, that looking over your shoulder act. I was supposed to follow, and I did, and we wound up in this, don't ask, there was a bathroom with a bathroom inside that bathroom.
Okay.
It was almost as if it was designed to go there and fiddle. So we went in and we closed the inner place. I can't believe I'm telling this. And we proceeded to try to do something. It was not easy, 2 over 6 feet tall men in this.
Right.
Exactly.
It was like a cell. And then somewhere along the line, I just came to my senses, and I said, Rock Hudson has an estate somewhere. What the am I doing in a 3x2 room with him?
Right.
Yeah.
And what does this say for my self-esteem? And it wasn't particularly fun, or it was just sort of icky.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the story. Then,
Did he take you back to his estate?
no estate. No, I didn't get a hamburger out of it.
Well, what's the point?
Or I got a hot dog.
Well, he was.
Oh my God!
Jumbo.
That's a big rumor around. I've always heard before I came to Hollywood that he always had a big wiener.
Oh, no kidding.
With Milton Berle.
No
but
kidding.
anyway.
Yeah.
Really?
No,
Seriously?
Milton Berle was known for that also.
Well, you know that.
I did not do it for Milton Berle.
Well, she did.
No, I didn't do Milton.
Well, now, okay, the truth is bad enough. Okay,
Well, it was in a bathhouse. No.
He took you to a little room.
Well, first of all, Rock was being very secretive, so I mean, of course he's going to keep it in that boundary.
Well, you know what? I never even thought of that until this minute. But that had to be a metaphor for his life, which is what I found.
Oh, yes.
I didn't even think of that until this minute.
Yeah.
I don't think I referenced it in the book. That's what was constrictive. Like, why are we in this closet having sex?
Yeah.
No.
Now, what year are we talking?
Oh, we're talking very close to him getting sick. I think 83, and didn't he get sick in 85?
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So, but there were no
no signs.
No signs. at that point. He got sick quickly. And in those days, the weight just fell off. And, and
really quick.
I was then, irony leads to irony. I was very sad about his death. And then, as the first openly gay actor, the media had no one to talk to from that vantage point, because when Hudson came out, it was like the kid who goes to their parents and says, I have AIDS, and oh, by the way, I'm gay. It was the first time Hollywood had to deal with not only AIDS, but someone who's gay.
Right.
So they came to me, and I went on Nightline and these various, and of course I never, ever, ever until this book told the story. It's 25 or 30 years later. I never, ever, ever, ever even intimated that I had any intimacy with him. I just told the story of someone who I felt did not have a very happy life. Or at least he did not have a full life. I guess that's me kind of
because he wasn't
judging.
who he. Well, no, because
No, he wasn't.
You have to be who you are. You found that out. You can't be Grant Tracy Saxon.
That's
You've got to be
Rock
Michael
Hudson.
Kearns. You've got to Rock Hudson or Kelly. What's your last name?
I have no idea. At this moment, I have no idea.
Kelly Burrow, isn't it? Milton, you got married to Milton Berle once. Anyway, you know what? I'm having such a ball, but we have to go to sleep. Okay?
Okay,
we have to go to sleep.
I'm going to get where I'm comfortable.
we want to thank our guest, Michael
That
Kearns.
was so fast. I want to do it again. Bye. How much fun did I have?
Peek in next week to see who'll be in bed with
Dad
and Kelly.
Bye,
Ciao.